Yes, I did stay up all night last night and watch Stranger Things season 3. I didn't finish all of it in one go. I watched the first 6 episodes in a stretch. Then I went to sleep for a little bit so I could just revitalize it, for a second. And then I watched the last 2 episodes, and I thought I'd then film this review as fast as possible so that you'd get it on the day of release. As you all know, at the last season, we saw the gate closed. We saw the upside down shut down, and it seemed like everything was good and happy once again, and things could move on from that point. When we get into season 3, we see that the kids have grown up a bit more. There's a lot of relationships. Eleven is dating Mike. Lucas is apparently dating Max. That's also a thing that's going on. And the kids are trying to get around the summer. It's the July 4th week that's come up, and certain things have started to happen which are a little strange. There are people doing some very shady things, a few rumblings around the streets again, and it could be that the Upside Down is coming back once more to cause havoc across Hawkins. I was, like I said, very excited for this season. I mean, I think the first 2 seasons are great. I really enjoyed them, and naturally, going into season 3, my expectations are pretty high. And much like in my midsummer review when I said I didn't watch the trailers for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood yet, I haven't seen the trailers for Stranger Things season 3. I went this totally blank. And I'm so glad I did because I had a blast with this season. I really enjoyed it. I think it's a really damn fun season. And once again, very consistent with the other ones. There's a very Harry Potter sense to it because it's almost like you're watching the cast grow up. But seriously, you can't help see these kids now and be like, wow, they were so little when this started and now they're so much older all of a sudden. It's just like, wow, that really flew by quite quickly. But it does help expand things a lot more for more mature stuff to come into the show, which is something I was very happy about because this is definitely a darker season than the other ones. I would say this is the darkest one actually. But it's also a very personal season because it is focused a lot on characters and like integrating the new ones and more some familiar ones into a better setting over here. Like they do a lot here with this one new character, Robin, which I was really like amazed with. I really liked her storyline and I really liked her character, and I thought she added some really nice weight to the entire story. And also with the other characters, what they've done is that they've created this thing where they're not all maybe in the same space, and it allows them to do a lot of different things and explore a lot of plots, which could be dangerous because you can lose sight of what the main story is because of that. But surprisingly, it does keep consistent and you are on board with everything that's happening throughout the entirety of the season. And the kids remain a bunch of really talented actors. I mean, Millie Bobby Brown is terrific still. She does a fantastic job here. And so does Finn Wolfhard, Gaten Matarazzo, Caleb McLaughlin. They're all doing a great job still. Noah Schnapp. They're all great, and Sadie Sink. I actually remember all the kids' names. I'm so glad about that. Of course, there's the 80s stuff, which we have to talk about because it is front loaded with 80s stuff. There's a lot more in this than I think the other 2 seasons. This one really piles up on it a little bit more. This one's more 1985 based, so Back to the Future has just come out, and that is a part of this show, by the way. That's a part of this season. But there's other references throughout that are scattered. For instance, there's one thing which I couldn't help but notice, and like that has to be a direct homage to the Terminator. And I was thinking I was wrong about it at first, but then there's a scene later on at a 7-Eleven, and I was like, oh my god, it is an homage to the Terminator. And a little bit of Dolph Lundgren, Ivan Drago, but that's not out for 2 more years. So I'm just gonna go with the Terminator because that was definitely the direct line of reference. And once again, it plays up those tropes really, really well. It's a really great love letter to that era. One thing I have to say that is consistently improved also is the special effects. They're Oscar worthy almost in this season. I mean, they have definitely upped their budget considerably from the first season, and you can tell that. One of the biggest effects up till now is the ending of season 2 when Eleven shuts the gate. That's nothing compared to the opening scene of this first episode. And you're like, whoa, there is already a gigantic leap in technology that we made in the last few years. And I'm very impressed with what they were able to do in that. And it led to some more creative and exciting visually action sequences that were honestly pretty awesome. This is easily the most visceral season of the 3. And definitely the goriest, most disturbing, but also the funniest in a way. There's a scene in this in particular in the very early part of the season which had me laughing so hard. It was 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm pretty sure pretty sure some people must have gotten mad because I laughed pretty hard. So yeah, that was pretty great. Yeah. Once again, it also has a terrific score. There's a great handling of the music. They definitely made a lot of that, to put that to use very well in the last few seasons, and they once again done it here. But what I do, like I said, appreciate once again is the fact that it's not losing its humanity. In this crazy science fiction world that this is all taking place in, it feels still like a science fiction show. And yet it also feels like a human drama. There's relationship drama, there is friend drama, there are at points in the episodes where they'll just stop to talk about, this character stuff that they're going through and the dynamics between them. And I did actually think that it added a lot of weight to it, because when you're coming to the ending of this season, you need to be on board with everyone, even though the last two seasons were enough. And if there are people who had an issue with season two's detour episode, the one I'm talking about, the one where Eleven went and saw the other powered people, then that's not quite here in this season. There's no such detour. There is, however, one thing I do need to ask about that, which is I wonder if they'll ever go back to that plot line. Because it's interesting, and certain events that transpire in this season, I was thinking, it would be cool if we had them. That would have made sense to have them right now in this current moment, because this thing is happening right now. But whatever, I guess we have a couple more seasons about that. According to reports, there's supposed to be 5 seasons of Stranger Things, so we're right now at the halfway point. So that means there are going to be 2 more seasons, which makes sense considering there are things in this which are definitely going to be enhanced or, expanded upon in season 4. So that should be interesting to see. I would say the biggest issue is something that I am afraid about for the next upcoming seasons, which is there's things you can do with the Upside Down, because it's such a malleable world, and there's a new take of for a monster that they have in this one, which was pretty cool, and they do something new with it, something creepy. But there are points of it where I can't help but feel like it's a little familiar. There's a few beats that are very similar to other seasons of Stranger Things, so it became a sort of like a routine thing, which I'm sort of worried about, because when you come to the later seasons, it shouldn't be the same thing over and over again. I think we can avoid that. I think they can avoid that, so I'm hoping that they avoid that, so that we won't have to have a rinse repeat situation here. There's one thing in particular though which I did not see coming, which I was kind of I'm surprised by, which I was like, oh, that's new. Okay, that went in a totally different direction than I thought. But at the same time, it had one similarity in terms of one character element, which I'm like, oh, I guess there's that. But it does open up a whole new world, like I said, and it is a really gorgeous season for the most part. It has a lot of great stuff. It has a killer finale, which was definitely something. And I'm not gonna lie, there are moments which are very emotional throughout this entire season. There's a few tug at your heartstring moments if you've connected with these characters up till now. And yeah, for the most part, it all works out. I just hope that a few of the familiar beats are corrected in later seasons. But I still had an amazing time with it. It's very binge-worthy. You have a ton of fun watching it. Definitely check it out. I'm gonna give Stranger Things Season 3 an A-. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Look forward to more videos very soon. As always, if you like this, please do subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the movies.